Abeokuta. The High Witness Report segment. Time for me to take reports from you on the wherever you are, the situation happening, where you are that you think is worth mentioning. Yes, let's get it from you. But please, let's keep to the rules. It's strictly reports and reports only. 09091469670 and 0809868734 for your reports, and of course for your complaints on the electricity, roads, and whatever it is. Let's use the SMS or Twitter handle 3210. That's the number to send your short message to, and for the Twitter is at Rockcity FM. Just add the hashtag DayBreakShow. Yes, the telephone open for your report. But quickly, let me report back. Yesterday, we had a distress call from one of our callers who informed us of one Mr. Akimbo that was said to have been kidnapped in his house at Bode Olude. Yes, a reporter went into it, and we can report back to you to say he has been rescued by the police division in Adaton. They are handling the case of Mr. Akimbo, the quarryman that was said to have been kidnapped on Sunday night in his house at Bode. Well, that's a good one to report back. He has been rescued. We don't have details of it, but we can confirm to you that he has been rescued by the police at Daton Division. All right, we can take reports from you. 0809868734. Do we have someone? Hello. Morning. All right, thank you for keeping faith in us. Thank you for permitting us into your homes, into your cars, into your rooms, wherever you are, listening to the voice of the people, Rockcity 101.9 FM, broadcasting from Ashiro here in Abeokuta. Dele Ayodo remains my name. And this morning, yes, we've had the incident of what they call earth tremor in some parts of Nigeria. In actual fact, within a week, there were 3 of such natural shake movement of the ground that is called earth tremor in Kaduna State. And the Nigerian Meteorological Service and other people who are saddled with that responsibility to check out begin to do their own research and ask the question, is Nigeria prone to earthquake? And I think it was last week we were told yes, we're prone, even though it's not an immediate thing. And we try to domesticate this, bring it down home. Is Ogun prone to earthquake? This is a natural disaster that no one may be able to prevent, but we can mitigate what its consequence and effect is. If you look at pictures in areas that are constantly wrecked by earthquake, you will pity them. If you look at cities like Japan, even the most recent one in Perugia, Italy, you will know that its effect can be indelible and that's why in a country like this, where we take things for granted, where there are so many ignorance and sometimes lackadaisical attitude by both government and the people, how do we ensure that if it does happen, when it happens, there will be less gnashing of the teeth, as it were. That's why this morning I'm bringing a geologist. Here is an expert in that field. I have with me Dr. Adewole Gbadebo in the studio. Is from the Department of EMT at the Federal University of Agriculture here in Abeokuta. Good morning, Dr. Gbadebo.
Good morning.
All right. I know the answer to that question may not be as simple as I put it. It's prone to earthquake, but don't let us start from that. But let's look at earthquake itself. I've never seen one physically, but I've seen pictures. I'm sure many of my listeners have also seen pictures of the wreckage and damages created by earthquake. So, what really is earthquake?
Thank you very much. Good morning, my audience. The earthquake, just as it has been asked, is one of the natural geological processes. It's is commonly referred to as vibration, violent ground shaking or vibration within the earth surface or below the earth surface. It's so violent to the extent that it can lead to a lot of structural failure, and it is a fearsome and destructive natural processes. It wreaks havoc all over the world, though perhaps we have been a bit lucky that in the recent year, the past years, we have not really been having the serious effect of it. But with the advent of the current situation, it seems Nigeria is no longer totally immune to the issue of tremor or earthquake.
Okay, we are not immune to it.
Yeah.
But how do we know that we are getting closer to an earthquake activity?
Thank you. When you look at, like I said, recent occurrences that we happen all over the country, it's an indication that we are having issues at hand. Because if we have been sleeping with all our eyes closed before, and all of a sudden we can feel sign of tremor, that is shaking, violent shaking of the ground automatically, and if it raises concern, like I know that over the years now we have been talking about earth tremor in Nigeria, that is once in a while, okay, at least once in a year, when the whole country will shake, and few people take note of it, and some people comment about it, but it's not everybody that knows. Maybe because they are not within the areas that were shaken or that the tremor passed through, and it has always been passed from the southern part of Nigeria across like that to the northern part of Nigeria. But what we be having in the recent time scattered around the country is an evidence that we have issues at hand. That earthquake is really, in the oven.
Now, I know earthquake is a natural occurrence, a natural disaster, but what are the human elements that could facilitate it or make it?
Okay, the causes.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, the causes of earthquake are both natural and human, but more of natural than human. And this is because of the fact that the waves, okay, the cause of it is actually from the the beneath the earth, because we have the structure of the earth in such a way that is in three layers: the crust, that's the outer layer; the middle layer, that's the mantle; and the core. Okay, and most of the time this outer crust, which is divided into plates, a kind of slab. Okay, and these plates, they are in constant motion because of the underlying mantle, which is in fluid like material. And when these plates move, it's either they, in the course of move towards each other, okay, and collide, okay, or one subsume under the other, that's subduction, okay. Whichever of these is results into earthquake. Even when they move parallel to each other, and they just rub, side with side, they get locked up, okay, it generates friction, and this can also result in in earthquake, okay. And then most of the time it can also, that is what we say, the earthquake occur along the plate boundaries, okay. But sometimes it happens within the plate itself, that is the slab, okay. And apart from that, human activities like destruction of the environment can also be, and can also cause earthquake or be an incidence of it. Because look at, for instance, you have a lot of if you can just take Ogun State for instance, you have a lot of quarry activity coming up here, okay. And most of these activities are not controlled, okay, with the issue of blasting and the rocks. They create atmosphere that can lead to either that can lead to future tremor within the state.
We do a lot of digging, searching for water.
Yes, that's a
borehole.
yes.
Here, at least I know
Yes,
that.
yes.
Can this also facilitate?
Yes, that is part of the human activity that we mentioned. That is the uncontrollable abstraction of groundwater. Okay, and this is a very serious problem, because most of these boreholes, some go as far as 100 meter, 200 meter, depend on the terrain. Okay, and whether we like it or not, we are distorting and we are disturbing the equilibrium of the environment. Okay, and at one time or the other, this may also result into a problem of a tremor or earthquake.
Well, you seem to have partially answered the next question, really. Is Ogun prone to earthquake? Do you think Ogun is prone to earthquake?
Yes, the answer is yes. And I have the
Or do we have some particular area of the state that can be said to be immune from it?
Yeah, I think we should just bring it together for a start. Okay, yeah, Ogun State can be said to be prone to, prone to earthquake or tremor because judging from the experience of the past, the state must have also experienced a ground shaking at various degree in the past. Okay, either people know or they don't pay attention. And also, when we look at the study that was carried out in 2009 on the tremor within the southwestern part of Nigeria. Okay, Ogun State happens to be one of the area that was affected, Ijebu-Ode. Okay, and not only
2009, that's recent.
Okay. Yes, there was a study that was carried out by one Adewole. It was mentioned that Ijebu-Ode was one of the areas that was hit by the tremor, and then not only that, and he also tried to look at the probabilistic earthquake within 2009 and 2028, which is a period of 20 years. Okay, and he predicted that Lagos State, Oyo State, and some areas which are in the southwestern part of Nigeria, and Warri, Port Harcourt, and Bayelsa in the southern part of Nigeria, that there is likelihood of a tremor or earthquake. And lo and behold, just 7 years after that prediction, we have a earthquake, okay, reported in Oyo State, which is Saki area, okay. And when you look at it, Ogun State is within Lagos State, okay, and Oyo State. And if that is happening around, then I think we should not, Ogun State, we should not, in Ogun State, we should not be sleeping. We should be trying to look at the fact that it may also happen. And then we also look at a situation whereby, there has been a prediction that, this documentation that Ogun State is also sitting on the so-called Lagos Ibadan Ijebu-Ode fourth zone. Okay, and if
what's a fourth?
Fourth, that's a kind of
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, fracture. Okay. Yes, and if that is the case, if he's sitting, then we cannot rule out the possibility that Ogun State may be prone to earthquake, because some of these faults, they are active or some are inactive. But due to the action of human, then some of the ones that are not active, that is not in motion, they can be set in motion, that is becoming active. And if that is the case, they can result in the future earthquake. Then looking at the fact that Ogun State is also, is having boundary with the ocean. Okay, and then when you look at a situation whereby subsidence along the land sea
boundary with ocean.
With it's a water side.
Okay. That's the sea.
That's yes. Okay. Yeah, which is also When you look at this kind of scenario, automatically you can't rule out. I'm trying to tell us several factors that is pointing to the fact that Ogun State may not be exempted from the possibility of a tremor or earthquake in the nearest future. And also, like we have just mentioned, the incessant unregulated quarrying activities in Ogun State is also a pointer to the possibility of earthquake, and the also unregulated activities of groundwater abstraction, by the borehole drillers in the state, which is very rampant. Okay, if this is going on like that unabated, it may also be a source of concern, which can also lead to.
Now, you've talked about tremor as one of the signs, tremor as a violent shake on the ground as one of the signs. But do we have what can be said to be immediate signs that would alert you that yes, we are very, very close to that? For instance, if it's about to rain, we can see the cloud, the movement of the cloud, the wind gets here, and one can see. Again, some people have also said that the volcanic action, the volcanic eruption is the other side of earthquake. Earthquake happens under the soil. Volcanic eruption happens above the soil, and then you can immediately begin to see that the lava is about to melt. There are signs that, well, this mountain is about to be active. Do we have, do we expect something like that if an earthquake is to occur?
Yeah, it's all right. I don't really. I mean, the issue of volcanic eruption is just is a twins a natural phenomenon with earthquake. But most of the time, volcanic eruption don't really happen like that. Okay,
But
because
this is what I'm saying. If a mountain
yes,
it's about to become active,
yes,
there are signs we are told that we begin to see smoke.
yes,
Then the mountain will begin to melt gradually.
yes.
And also, that's what I mean. That
Okay, okay.
do we expect signs that can actually point to that fact that
Yeah.
we are?
Yes, that we can have training.
Yes.
Yeah, like I mentioned, some of these signs include periodic shaking. Okay, like I said, if people have been taking note, we used to have or talk about a tremor in Nigeria that is shaking from the north to the south to the northern part of Nigeria. That is periodic shaking. It's one of the signs. Then there may be some part of, some kind of explosion that's beneath the ground. Okay, you can also have something like violent vibration. Because if you read through the news, okay, the people in Shaki complain that several weeks, okay, they have been having hearing series of strange sound beneath the ground, okay, but because they are not aware of the likelihood of what will come, okay, they still kept on living there, not until that incident happened, okay. It means it has been given sign in form of sound underground, because I read that several of them complain that they have been hearing sound beneath the earth ground, okay, and that's one of the signs. And apart from that, there are some areas that we can also experience landslides, okay. Yes, I remember some maybe last year or year before, around that Arakanga area, okay, there was this rock that washed down the hills, and at night, because of the heavy downpour, and at the end of the day, it hit the house and killed some people. But if you prone into that area, don't be surprised that there might be faults underground that are active, okay, or that were dormant in the past, but suddenly become active, okay, and was triggered by the meteorological condition, that is heavy downpour, okay. And these are some of the signs, okay, and like you said, the volcanic action, but we don't really have that. But the impact generally.
I know you are a scientist,
yes,
a researcher, but let me see ask you this question. This is Africa. Can any of these tremors you say be attributed to the signs of the gods? Can they be appeased traditionally?
Yeah, thank you. It has in the before the science, yes, that has been the belief of people that they are god or goddesses, okay, and even in the Western world they were appeasing to them, okay, but that doesn't stop it from happening, okay, not until they started looking at it from scientific point of view, because we are talking about action that is taking place in the heart of the heart, that is they call the mantle and the crust, okay, as a sort of the molten magma, okay, and whenever there's a little crack, which is an opening, then this will it will erupt, and at the end of the day, the outer the effect of it is what we talk about as the tremor. So if all these actions of human being are checked, okay, and by nature things are put in control, definitely we may not be having it, okay. But the only thing is that, like you said, Africa is one of those places that was not that experiencing or prone to earthquake. When you look at it like Asia, the Americans, okay, yes, we are just lucky, but because of the population and the human activity, and then you can see that we started having the effect.
So can population be a cause?
Why not? Like we just talked about this abstraction of, and then the quarreling activity.
Okay,
yes, because the more the people, the more they are, the demand on the resources. Okay, and then this can also trigger.
All right, now because we in this part of the world we are not known to be very good in responding to emergencies or even preparing for emergency. So